Now we can begin by studying the common characteristics of any rule. Any rule, whether it be religious, legal, ethical, should be general in order for it to be able to be applied, as we are going to discover later on, and it should have a hypothetical structure. What do we mean when we say a rule must be general? The generality of the rule does not have anything to do with the number of people that are concerned by the application of the rule. It has to do with the way the rule is expressed. Any rule aims or concerns a certain group of people. Now, this group of people must be determined by an abstract critter, by their abstract situation. That's what we mean by the general aspect of the law. So the law does not designate a person, a concrete person. It designates a group of persons based on their abstract situation. Therefore, every person that falls into that situation will be concerned by the rule. Let's give some examples to make this idea clearer. A rule can apply to everyone, meaning the group concerned by the rule could be anyone. For instance, when law states that whoever steals shall go to jail. Whoever steals. It may be you, it may be me, it may be anyone. Here, everyone is potentially concerned by the rule. But sometimes the group of people concerned by a rule could be more defined. For instance, labor law. If we want to take a legal example, labor law, قانون العمل. Labor law applies on workers, على العاملين. So if I'm not a worker, labor law will not apply to me. If I'm not an employee, labor law will not apply to me. However, if tomorrow I become an employee, then labor law will apply to me. So this does not make labor law any less general, because it still concerns a group of people defined by an abstract situation and not a concrete group of people. If you want to take an example outside of law, the church commandments in the Catholic Church only apply to Catholic. It does not make them not general, because they still apply at anyone who is a Catholic. If I'm a Catholic today, these laws, or these rules, excuse me, will apply to me. If tomorrow I cease to be a Catholic, these rules will cease to be applicable to me. More than that, a rule can even concern one person, if that person is designated by his abstract situation. In the Constitution, Dustur, there's certain articles that apply only on the President of the Republic. And as we all know, we can have only one president at one single time. So these are rules that are applicable on only one person. Does that make them not general, or does it affect their generality? Not at all, because these rules do not apply or do not concern a specified person, right? They apply on anyone who is a president of the Republic. Same thing with the rules related to the Pope in the Catholic Church. There can be only one Pope at one given time. Yet these rules are general because they concern or they aim at the Pope based on his situation, on his legal or abstract situation. Whoever becomes the Pope will have to apply these rules, not a specific Pope. And they do not concern, let's say, Pope Benedict himself or Pope Francis himself. No, they concern anyone who might become a Pope. So a rule or a norm is general, it's not concrete, does not concern any concrete situation. It just lays out the general rule. But when we will have to apply the general rule to a specific situation, to a concrete situation, then we talk about decisions. So a decision is the application of a general rule to a concrete case. A general rule will not mention names, for instance, while a decision will mention name. If the general rule says whoever causes troubles to his neighbors should repair the damage done, that is a general rule. If myself as a neighbor, I do harm to my neighbor, then the judge is going to condemn me particularly. The judge is going to say, Bshara has done damage to his neighbor, therefore Bshara should pay reparation to his neighbor. And this distinction between a general rule and a concrete application justifies the general distinction between the legislative power and the judiciary power. The legislative power, whatever form it may take, lays the general rules, while the judiciary applies the general rules to concrete situations. A rule also must have a hypothetical structure. In any rule, legal, religious, ethical, we can dissect this rule to discover two elements: the hypothesis and the consequence. The structure is if, then. If this happens, then this shall be the consequence. Think about any rule you want, you will find these two elements in it. You can see on the screen three examples: a religious rule, a grammar rule, and a legal rule. In each of these rules, you can identify a hypothesis and a consequence. Think a bit about them, then go to the next slide. If you want, pause the video right now, then go to the next slide to find the answers.